Okay, so Gemini 3 got launched today. Google just dropped it. No build up, no anything. And it was suspected, not supposed to, it was suspected that it would drop sometime in the next few days or weeks. That's a pretty broad range. So it wasn't giving you a lot to work with. And actually what people were expecting mostly was Banana 2. And then maybe Gemini 3 as an add-on little secret. But Gemini 3 just ended up dropping out of nowhere. And so, yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out what exactly it is. Because they have what is now called Gemini Agent. And that comes with Gemini 3 Pro. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use it. It's available to use in Google AI Studio. So, as you can see, there is Gemini 3 right here. Big, beautiful circle. And so, we're just going to ask it a few questions about itself and see what we figure out. So, this is going to be our first experience with Gemini 3. So what I'm asking is, tell me about the new Gemini Agent Mode feature that is launching with the Gemini 3, and is it available now? Obviously, well, I don't know if Agent Mode is available, but Gemini 3 is available. And all your normal stuff here, thinking level, model resolution, or media, all this stuff. You can't API it yet. You can only use it in Google Studio, it looks like. So let's run this and let's learn about Gemini 3 from Gemini 3. Let's see, doing its thinking here. Okay, so scouting for clues, exploring features, checking out Agent Mode with Gemini 3. November 2025 launch. That is November in 2025. Okay. Defining agent modes. All this stuff. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's see. Cool. So, is it available now? Yes. What with specific tiers? Gemini Agent available to Google AI Ultra subscribers. And agent mode for developers is available in Android and Code Assist. Okay, cool. So agent model, Gemini 3 model itself is rolling out broadly, but the autonomous agent capabilities are currently gated. So if you have a premium or pro tier with Google, then you should be able to play around with it. And I will see if we can play around with that. But let's see what exactly agent mode does. Sorry, getting lots of text here. So what is Gemini Agent Mode? So it obviously is an agent inside of Gemini. That's pretty clear. But you can pretty much, from what I have read, just task it with something, and as long as it has the available information or access to the information, it'll do it. And so it really is kind of like an assistant, like a legit assistant. I remember probably 5 years ago, Google put out for these Google HomePods they put out this ad where people were talking to it, and they were like, hey, Google, I need to book a hair appointment, and then Google would then call them as what is now today a voice agent, not available back then. Oh my gosh, I've zoomed in on my face here. How long was that like that? I don't know. And it would call them, and then it would book the appointment, and then all this stuff, right? And that wasn't possible 5 years ago. It is possible now, and that seems like what Google is moving towards, and that you'll be able to say, hey, I'm going to Austria for Christmas, and I need somewhere to stay from the 20th to the 24th. And I want to stay in a 4 or 5 star hotel and under $500 a night in the main part of the city. And Google will go and find those hotels in the parameters that you've given it. It will go through its booking process, the calendar, make sure how many rooms are open, which rooms are available. Maybe it'll ask you back, hey, do you want a standard or a premium or a suite? What do you want? King, queen? And it'll get that info from you, and then it'll keep going through the process. This is what I'm inferring from what I've read. And if it can do this, that is nasty as fuck. Like, they've smoked ChatGPT, and I'm an avid GPT-5 hater. Now, I use GPT-5 a lot. The memory is just baked in there, and I'm begging someone to create a way for me to port my knowledge from one LLM to another, or have a shared database somewhere where both LLMs can pull from. And God, I just want to get out of GPT, but all my information's in there. Anyways, this isn't a GPT-5 hate video, but this is what they promised you with their agents. And that's just not a thing. You're not doing this with ChatGPT right now. This is what they promised you with their big MCP rollout, all that stuff. And it's just really gone nowhere. Like, ChatGPT, while it is a large and, the largest LLM, arguably, right? I think it's the largest chat model. And that's what it's best for. And I think, it is good in agents, but their internal, agent stuff, it's just ass right now. And it sounds like Google's about to smoke it. And if they are able to do that, I think you're going to see Google jump back to the top of the LLM benchmark list. I mean, it's already at the top for a lot of things, right? You have VO3, 3.1, you have Nano Banana, Imagine 4. Those are all at the top of image models, and they used to be at the top of coding models. I have no clue what Gemini 3 coding is like. But yeah, anyways, getting on a tangent. So they have multi-step reasoning, so it'll think. So tell it, hey, I need you to go find my email confirmation for my flight on January 1st and pull my confirmation number. It'll go in your email, it'll search those parameters, it'll find the email, pull it, send it back to you. That's what it sounds like it'll do. If it hits an error like it says, it will attempt to fix it without you needing to reprompt it. So it actually has its own fallback methods where it'll just fall back and try multiple ways and be a problem solver proactively before having to just be stupid towards you. And I hate when AI is stupid. AI is supposed to be smarter than me. So I just hate when it's stupid because it reminds me that it's really not that fucking good at the end of the day. I mean, AI is really fucking good, but sometimes it's just ass. Everyone knows it's just ass sometimes. But it seems like this fallback methodology and the way that it's deep thinking is going to help with that. Now, tool and app integration. So has deep hooks into Google Workspace, right? So things like Gmail, Google Calendar, Drive, they're going to make it extremely, extremely sticky for you to want to use this natively with ChatGPT. Why would you use N8N? Why would you use Make? Why would you use Zap when you could just use Gemini Agent and it's just natively there and can do it without you having to do all this configuration and integration, APIs, webhooks, all this shit, right? And so I can tell you for a fact, we're going to use this. We will absolutely use Gemini Agent, and when it becomes available, I'm honestly going to really test it. And hopefully it meets the expectations because I've really been wanting this. I've been wanting someone to do this where I can actually have an assistant. Like, I don't need to be a human in the loop every step because it's not so AI if I have to just prompt it into the next thing every single time. At least not multi-step AI. It's AI. It's doing a bulk of the job, but it's not multi-step in the way that it can just proactively do things on its own. So it seems like active chaining is kind of locked down here. So autonomous execution can perform things like sending emails, editing files, browsing the web. And so for us, right, this might be helpful for our sales teams or our sales leadership, where we have spreadsheets with all of our sales team KPIs. Our sales team submits an end-of-day KPI form. It goes into a big Google Doc or Google Sheet, and we go in there and we check it. So I can set up with Gemini Agent, the ability to say, hey, just pull me today's numbers. Now I don't have to click in there, look, review everything, and it'll just send it back to me. That seems awesome. That's like an actual assistant. This is what Google was promising 5 years ago. And now they're doing it. So long-term thinking on Google's end. And then visual generative. So I've actually read there's going to be a big UI update. So apparently it's supposed to make finding chat history a lot easier. It's supposed to be able to use tools easier. I don't know what exactly that's going to look like. But it seems like with the new apps, because there's going to be Gemini Apps now, you're going to be able to make apps that are embedded. And again, this is what OpenAI was trying to do with their Agent OS or their Agent Kit. And I just don't think it hit the same way, because I tried to use that. I was actually extremely excited. And then when I got on, there was only 15 apps I could actually use that were natively built in. And all the MCP stuff was it was just a little complex and difficult. Not as easy as they made it seem like it was going to be. And of course, that's why they skipped the actual MCP configuration inside of the launch, because it takes way longer than it actually is. Now, hopefully it's easier with Google, because this stuff is native. And I don't know, people just, I don't know. I feel like Google obviously has just a better ecosystem than ChatGPT overall. A lot of people use ChatGPT, but as an ecosystem, Google is the omnipresent king. They're everywhere. So, use cases for business. So, software dev, agent mode. So, you can ask APIs, agent will search your files, write the code, run and build, check for errors. So, it seems like they are updating their coding stuff, administrative stuff. So, I read inbox management and meeting prep. So it'll be able to manage your inbox. So pull emails, scan emails, send emails, organize inboxes, do whatever. So let's say you have an email come in once a month from invoice@google.com. And you need to make sure that you are bookkeeping your Google invoices. Oh, here we go. And so with your Google invoices, you now could just say, hey, find all my Google invoices for the year, put them into the spreadsheet so that we're tracking them, blah, blah, blah. So it'll make doing that stuff a lot easier. And you've been able to build agents that do these things, right? It's not that you haven't had these functionalities third party previously, but now this is all native. And so I'm interested to see how this works for Google, because like I said already, their ecosystem is nasty. If you're working with your business or you're working with other businesses, helping them, think about how much is inside of Google. You have your drives, you have your emails, you have your Google Chats if you use the Teams section. You have any of your education stuff in Google Classrooms. You have your calendar with your schedules. And so this is really where your whole business lives for the most part. The communication between you and your team, you and your clients, you and your merchants, you and your suppliers, whoever you're working with. And then, like it says, meeting prep. It can scour, drive, and email for context on upcoming meetings. So if you've done research or you and okay, here's an example. Our sales team, each sales team member has a setter. A setter talks to a lead and sets them for a call 2 or 3 days from now. Well, the setter then sends them an email or a chat with that information of what they talked about in the call. And then the closer doesn't have to ask the setter. They can see that email obviously when they get it, but if they need to refer back to it later on, they just ask the chat and it'll go pull it. And so maybe that's an overly simple example, so it sounds harder, and why wouldn't you just look at the email? So that was probably an overly simplified example, but still, you get the idea of it. Now, market research. So research the top 5 competitors in the web. Okay, so this is a jab at Perplexity, right? They're gonna let their agents web crawl Google. Who is Google trying to block people Or what is Google trying to block people from doing? Hey, you cannot crawl our websites. All these websites, these big companies, hey, you cannot crawl our stuff. Perplexity, OpenAI, Claude, X, you cannot crawl our websites without our permission. But Google is Google. All these companies are hosted on Google. They have the permission to crawl the websites. They're hosted on Google. And so, I mean, yeah, this is just I'm interested. I don't know what the extent of this is, but I'm interested about that. So again, some use cases for personal tasks. So trip planning, I gave an example for that, right? If you are doing education, let's say, hey, I'm taking French, right? True story, I am taking French, and I wanted to put together a little lesson plan for me. I'm going to be on a trip for a week or two. I'm not going to be able to speak with my French tutor. And so in which case, I just want to make a little plan for myself to make sure that I'm still staying up to date. Maybe that's some flashcards. Maybe that's a little quiz I give myself. Maybe I give myself a prompt and I have to write something. Whatever the case is. It will do that. And then also, organization. Now, if you use Google Drive or Google Photos, for your personal stuff, right? Maybe you do personal accounting in Google. Maybe you store your family photos and videos in Google. Maybe, I don't know what else you would do personally in Google. I don't have a personal Google Drive like that. But whatever you're doing, it can organize that stuff. And that applies for business too, right? I actually do have a pretty messy Google Drive for my business. I have actually 100 Google Drives for 100 different businesses on 100 different emails, and it gets a little messy. So if I could organize these just by talking to it, my life would be a lot easier, and this will probably be one of the first things that I do when I can get my hands on this, which I still need to see if I have my hands on. So, let's take a look. Okay, Gemini 3 Pro preview. Is this it then? Or this is what we've already been on, correct? I think so. Yeah, okay, that's what we were just talking to. This stuff all seems normal. Normal. I'm really wondering where Gemini or Nano Banana 2 is. Don't know where Nano Banana 2 is. Okay, so tell me So one last thing here. What are the 5 biggest things with Gemini 3? Identify Gemini 3 enhanced context window. Okay, so it's going through. Actually, let's look at this stuff real quick. So enhanced context window, 1. 2, take your code to the next level. All right, so it's connected to GitHub. Everyone's connected to GitHub. I mean, it's not all that. Summarize Gemini 1.5 Pro's key improvements. So get a concise overview of significant advancements on 1.5 Pro. Okay. Build with your favorite frameworks. Again, coding, outline safety, and response. Okay. So it's going through here. What exactly did I do? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I did. Let's see what I did. Hey, I'm just a human. I'm clicking on things. I'm typing things. And so we're going to see what I did together. Yeah. Sometimes I just click on shit. It's building something. Okay. It says a code assistant. What did I click on? I don't even know what I clicked on. Okay. I don't know what I did. All right. Well, one last thing here. Tell me the single biggest update in Gemini 3 that is useful for AI agencies. Oop, I don't know how to spell. So let's look at one last thing here. What's the single biggest thing that this has as a benefit? Why does it keep doing this? It's building code again. Oh, that's my bad. That one is my bad right there. Okay. So this only updates. Gemini 3. Gemini. Okay. Let's do this one more time. Okay. Tell me the single biggest update to Gemini 3 that is beneficial for AI agencies to know and use for their business. So, let's take a look at this. And this is on Gemini 3. So it should know best. Okay, so the single biggest update to Gemini is Google anti-gravity along the new model's new agentic capabilities. What the fuck is Google anti-gravity? Oh god, we still have so much to figure out. Okay, so while better reasoning and speed are standard improvements, anti-gravity represents a fundamental shift in how you build and sell AI automation solutions. Or I just added that word in there. It transitions the technology from chatbots to talk to agents that do work. Okay, so they are calling their agentic functionality anti-gravity. I thought they came up with some like crazy fucking shit, but it's just Google's anti-gravity is a new dedicated platform designed specifically for building and managing autonomous AI agents. Wait, it's a whole new platform? Wait a minute. Wait a motherfucking minute. Stop. Really? Really? Okay, I gotta go play with this. I'm gonna record myself playing with it, but I'm gonna make that a whole separate video. We're 22 minutes in here. Google Anti-Gravity. Go to Google Anti-Gravity, download it, play around, have fun. We'll talk soon.